Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so I haven't been covering the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, but I have been watching fairly closely. And this Dallas Mavericks Minnesota Timberwolves game just ended, and I enjoyed the heck out of that, man. I did. That Dallas was down by as much as 15, but came back and got the victory with Luka the Don dancing all over Rudy Gobert. I told y'all earlier today, Rudy Gobert getting like 4 and 5 Defensive Player of the Year is just I don't get it. I don't get it because there are players in this league that literally hunt him out for these type of situations, and we saw it tonight. I mean, it ain't even been 5 hours since I said that. I don't think it's been 3 hours since I said that, and sure enough, he was the one that got scored over. Um, I got to give credit to Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. Boy, did they bring a hell of a different dynamic to this Dallas team from where they were when they had Christian Wood down there as the only center and everybody was getting a layup line to now with these centers down there that are so easy to lob the ball to. I mean, they were both fantastic tonight. Kyrie Irving scared me down there because he missed 3 free throws down the stretch. At one point, Dallas was down by 3. He missed 3 free throws, but he came back and made something of it. Hit a corner 3 to make up for that, and did some good things down there. It wasn't his greatest night, but ultimately down the stretch, he was able to help pull through for the team, and was did some fantastic passing down there too. Karl-Anthony Towns got benched in the fourth quarter. He was that cold. It was real bad, like 4 for 16 or something like that. Anthony Edwards had a very bad game, and including the turnover down the stretch of the basketball game where he threw it out of bounds. But I told y'all, man, that's why I didn't pick Minnesota to win the series, is because Anthony Edwards showed me against the Denver Nuggets how to slow him down. And given the fact that he's the only closer on this Minnesota team going up against 2 of the most elite closers in basketball, and Kyrie and Luka, I just didn't see a way for him to win this series. Karl is dealing with a little bit of a knee, and I don't trust him. I'm going to be honest with you. Karl-Anthony Towns has shown me in many different ways that he is an extremely talented center, but he's not a winner. So I look at him as they're going to have to drag Karl to a championship if he's ever going to win one. I really believe that. He's been a part of the losing year in, year out Minnesota team that just ain't never done nothing good. Put up big numbers, but it was a big part of what I thought was not a winner. And so they've since brought winners in, but on nights like this when he's not playing well, I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised to see him play well in these crunch situations like he did in the last series than I am to see what happened tonight. This is more so what I expect from him. And so I thought the coach did the right thing, sitting him for Naz Reid, who had 7 threes on the night and could have won the game with that 3-point shot at the end, but it just didn't stay on line. But he was hot all night, and I thought it was the right call for their coach. But Luka the Don, man. Luka the Don, what can I say, man? When you talk about clutch basketball players playing through multiple injuries, hurt knees. At the beginning of the game, it looked like he was going to have a tough game physically because he was in so much pain. But by the end of the game, you could clearly see where the greatness is, man. You could see where it is. And I tell y'all, I trust what I've seen from Luka the Don over the years. And I trust enough of the Mavericks to choose them over the Minnesota Timberwolves, who, if their defense isn't stifling you, there's a chance that their offense may not show up. And when you're talking about guys like Kyrie and Luka, I feel like Kyrie and Luka from possession to possession could connect on every possession every time down because they're so efficient and they have complementary pieces that can really help them. So that's what it comes down to. Even though tonight was a bad P.J. Washington and a bad Derrick Jones Jr. scoring night, they got it from Gafford. They got it from Lively. And I'm telling y'all, Lively's turned into a hell of a piece. That's why I call this an evolving roster, because first half of the season, you didn't even have Lively really doing much. And they brought him, actually, let me rephrase that. They brought him along early, and he came out the gate fantastic. But midway through the first half of the season, he wasn't even utilized. And then in the second half of the season, they started using him more. And by the end of the season and now in the playoffs, he's a focal point of what they do. But, it was a big chunk of the season in the first half where he was a non-factor. and you couple that with the fact that they didn't have Gafford, they didn't have PJ. Now you're talking about 3 7-footers that are now in regular rotation having big roles on this team that weren't even on the team earlier in the year. So this really is an evolving roster, and they're getting better and better the more they play with one another. And I just think Derek Lively has proven that he's one of the best rookies in the game this year, and one of the last ones standing too, if we're really paying attention. And boy, was he fantastic. 6 out of 6 from the field, mostly lobs, hitting free throws, getting offensive boards, blocking shots. I mean, he's just getting boards all over the place. He's a really, really special young center who's a pogo stick out there, and he's playing with a heavy heart. And I really am rooting for him to win it this year. I'm rooting for him to win the championship this year. I'm rooting for Kyrie to win the championship at this point. And they got 2 more games before they're in the finals, man. So that's what it is. I mean, I'm obviously not a Mavericks fan or a Minnesota team fan. If I happen to see either of those teams come out, I'm definitely rooting for them to win the championship. But I just think that Minnesota's gotten as far as they can go, man. I understand that everybody's really excited about Ant-Man, but I saw something against the Denver Nuggets in that Game 7 that concerned me about Ant-Man. And that is when you throw big bodies in front of him and cut him off at the top of the key, he gets forced into some bad situations. And he may be able to turn the corner a couple of times, but as long as you keep enough quick, bigger bodies on him, he can't get around. He can't get around him. And if he's not going offensively, I don't trust nobody else on that team to really go. That's what it really comes down to. I don't trust nobody else. If Ant isn't giving you 35, Minnesota probably ain't going to do enough. And that's what I see down there. Rudy Gobert's a non-factor offensively. Kyle Anderson's an offensive non-factor. J.D. McDaniels can score here and there, but we know that he's not really a scorer like that. He's getting better, and he can really help. But if I'm supposed to be counting on him for 25 points when Ant-Man is cold, I'm probably not going to be able to win my money on a bet like that. And you just keep going. Mike Conley had a good game tonight. I think Mike Conley was one of the reasons why they were as close as they were down the stretch, why they had to lead down the stretch, because he was so aggressive. But, they don't really have a whole lot of players that you can really count on scoring the ball. They have a lot of non-scoring guys that they use in regular rotation. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he can be a wild card at times. Sometimes he'll throw a possession entirely away trying to be more than what he is. He one of them role players to think he's a superstar sometimes, and while that can work in his favor because he has a lot of heart, it can work against the team too when he thinks he's somebody he's not and start doing stuff that hurts the team. I'm not saying I've seen any of that tonight at all, but that's just when I'm assessing the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's what I see there. I don't see those problems over there in Dallas. I really don't. I see players that can connect on every possession, pogo stips that are centers, who catch lobs and rebound the ball and jump twice as fast as the other centers on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Is one of the things that I said as well about Minnesota, is that I think that the energy that Gafford, PJ, and Lively are going to bring to the table is going to outwork Rudy, Carl, and Nas. They just have more athletic bigs. Rudy's he's in great shape, but he's not a pogo stick. Carl is, I don't think he's the most coordinated guy in the world, to be honest with you. He works hard, but he's not somebody that you're going to call an athletic specimen. So when you're dealing with Gafford and Lively, them dudes flying all over the place. They're going to beat them to loose balls. And then you throw in Derrick Jones Jr., and that kind of negates what the McDaniels effect would be. So as I told y'all guys, it's what I saw from the beginning of the series. Everything that Dallas has, or rather everything that Minnesota has, Dallas has an answer for. It's almost like they built a team to beat Minnesota. To be honest with you, it looks to me that they were thinking about this team when they put together their team. And then it just becomes, okay, who has the better closers? And as I said, it's 2-on-1 in that situation. Luka the Don and Kyrie Irving versus Ant-Man. Other than that, there ain't no more closers. You can try to call Cat a closer, but he wasn't even on the floor. They played him all the way off the floor. He was so bad, coach didn't even want to play him. You can call Conley a closer, but when it comes down to Kyrie Irving, he ain't go out doing no Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? So they just don't have it. They need another guy down there to try to match up with what Dallas is bringing to the table. And so this could be a sweep. I also wouldn't be overly surprised to see Minnesota win the next 2 games. But right now, they really got the hats brought to them in their own building. Just like they did to the Denver Nuggets is what's happening to them. So just like Denver, they're going to have to go into Dallas and win 2, or this series is all but over. So I'm pretty excited about what I'm seeing, man. I feel confident about my pick. I said Dallas in 6. I don't know if it's gonna last that long, especially if Minnesota can't find a way to get Game 3. I don't think it's gonna get to 6. So that's what I wanted to say, man. Happy to be going for the Dallas Mavericks because they're definitely making me look great out here, and it's been fun rooting for them. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I just never had a chance to root for Kyrie Irving. That's what it really comes down to. I'm a Kyrie fan who never seen him on the team that I actually like until basically right now. So for me, that's why I picked the Dallas Mavericks, because I want to see Kyrie Irving win a championship. Another one anyway. And I would love to see Derek Lively get a championship for his mom. That's really why I'm rooting for the Dallas Mavericks to win this thing. So that's what it is. That's what I have in mind, man. I think about Karl-Anthony Towns and how he lost his mom as well. It would be great to see him win a championship. Of course, Ant-Man lost his parents, his mom and his grandmother. So I think about them as well on the other side of it. It would be great to see either one of these teams win. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going for Dallas on this one. I really am. So that's what I got to say, man. That's what's on my mind. I don't even want to talk about the Celtics and the Pacers. The Pacers really took the wind out of my sails, and most people were rooting for them in Game 1. I just was totally disgusted with them. I've been disgusted with them all week. This is what I was worried about with the Pacers, that they wouldn't put up a fight against the Celtics, that they shouldn't even belong. They don't belong here. You know what I mean? And when I did homework on the Pacers, I saw some things that I liked, but you got to get one of them first 2 games, and that first game they completely gave away. Simply because the coach refused to foul when he's up 3. Everybody on their grandmama told this man to foul when you up 3, and he didn't. And Jaylen Brown hit the corner 3, and the rest was history. And I don't think they win in the series. Forget my whole argument. I was wrong about who the Pacers played in the first round anyway. So a lot of what my argument was negated by my mistake. But the Pacers, they're not keeping up with Boston, man. They're not doing that. I don't see them getting back in this series. And so I'm disgusted with the Pacers. You got to win Game 1 if you're them. And maybe they make a series out of this thing. But right now, you didn't let Boston get 2 games at home, and they're headed back to your building. And I just don't think it's going to be too much more difficult for Boston, especially with Porzingis probably not too far away. So I'm completely disgusted with the Pacers. I haven't been this angry with a team that ain't my own in a long time. They're just useless, absolutely useless. So go Mavericks is what I got to say, man. That's pretty much that. Of course, I'm a Laker fan, so all that goes out the window as soon as the championship is won. But for now, we gonna roll with the Mavs. And, yeah, that was a hell of a game, man. Luka the Don is the truth. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.